Hey everybody, Coach Mel here today. You are listening to the MelFit podcast. I thought about what I was going to say from here on out for my title so I don't have to list the long list of my accreditations or my bio. So I'm just going to call myself an online health and fitness expert. What makes me an expert is that I have coached hundreds of people and got them to their health and fitness goals, whether it be somebody that's anorexic or bulimic to even the morbidly obese. My heaviest client was 600 pounds. We've lost 175 pounds together, and we are still losing. So welcome. We talk all things health, fitness, and lifestyle. Josh and I are so excited to get back on a regular schedule of recording one podcast a week, and I almost tried to maybe load something else we had, but Josh encouraged me to let's just do it, and I was so glad because no matter what happens in life, you have to just stick to what you promised yourself you were doing, which has a lot to do with the episode that we're going to be talking about. So not only has this week been super crazy with MelFit, I was asked to do a lip sync fundraiser for Idaho Drug Free Youth, and that has required a lot of my time practicing, and the event is tonight. We are Robert Palmer and the Simply Irresistibles. It's called Stinky Palmer and the Simply Irresistibles, so that is going to be a blast. I'm really glad that I did it. Normally, no always comes out of my mouth because I'm such a workaholic, but it's been a great experience, and it's a good cause, and I've met a really, really great group of ladies. Saturday, I was asked to be a celebrity bartender at Nashville North, and we're having a margarita mix-off. So, of course, I'm making a skinny margarita. So that is going to be a super, super good time. So today's episode is titled 1, 2, 3, This is the New Me. If you're listening to this and you've been with MelFit since the beginning, you've heard me say this over and over and over. And I'm going to kind of spell it out for the new people what this means. So we're going to start out with answering the question, why is it so hard to start a new routine? I think that it's so hard because your excuses get in the way, and for most people it's hard to admit that they are excuses. I actually admire people that own excuses and will send messages and say, I know this sounds like, they'll say this is an excuse, but da 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 da. And it's really easy to convince yourself that you don't have time. The problem with that is when you constantly put yourself on the back burner, if you're a mom, if your kids are getting older, if you're working, wherever you're at in your life, if you're a grandmother, the problem is when you do that, you're only pushing yourself further and further away from your goals. So let's just say you're thinking about starting, but you're making all these excuses. You will blink and your excuses will be gone. Your kids, meaning your kids, will be graduated, and then you'll be sitting there, and then you've really, really done some damage. So what I'm saying is, rather than let 5 years pass, waiting until the stars align, why not do something rather than nothing? Tell me what you're doing now, and I'll tell you where you'll be a year from now. Anything you can do, even drinking water, starting daily walks, is going to make a difference for your health and fitness. I always tell people I think that perfection is a silent killer. I can't start until my house is clean. I've washed my baseboards, washed my fans, pulled every weed in my garden, my pictures are organized, that lock of hair from my child is framed, like everything I've ever want to do, my garage is clean. Like I can't even fathom starting until everything in my life is perfect. Well, hello, wake up call. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. You're never going to be less busy. You have to just start. Pick a date and start. The problem with most people is they have poor time management skills. If you wrote down your schedule down to the minute, which my life is, would you be filling it with things that are driving you towards your health and fitness goals? Hopefully you can answer yes, but if the answer is no, then you need to listen up. And you have to be okay with being a beginner. Anybody that you admire in life was a beginner once. If you admire an Olympic athlete like Michael Phelps, like he was a beginner once. He trained to get to this point. Another thing I tell people, most importantly, the best advice I could give you about MELFIT is a lifestyle. And you have to really wrap your mind around that before you can even get going on MELFIT. If you picked a date and you're ready to start, another thing I always tell people is you have to have an imperfect mindset. You have to be okay if you're doing my 12-week boot camp, for instance, my intermediate plan. You have to be okay with imperfection. I'm recording your everything in your file every week. I'm recording whether you got your workouts in. I'm recording whether you checked in. I'm recording whether you logged your free day. I'm recording your steps for the 6-week shred. And also, thanks to Josh, you have the MELFIT Fitness Planner, which you can record your workout, whether you ate your food, drank your water, prepped, shopped, and checked in with me. If you went back over all 3 months, 1, 2, I'm holding these papers up for the people on the podcast. If you go over all 3 months and you're looking for perfection and you're hoping that every single week of the 12 weeks was perfect, then you're sorely mistaken, because that's not going to happen. Okay. So once you have accepted that, you can start. And I know you're skeptical right now. Well, how can I get results? Like, if I'm not perfect every single week, how will I get results? How will I reach my goal? Well, it's what you do consistently that matters, not what you do every day. Another thing I tell people is, like, if it's Wednesday and you're sending me a message saying, I'm so stressed, I haven't got one workout in, I'm on month 1 of the 12-week boot camp, well, you still have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you can't muster up 3 25-minute workouts in those days, then you need to listen up on what I'm going to talk about as far as time management and how are you going to get your act together. You know, I always tell people, if you're a hot mess in the beginning, you are going to thrive on this plan because you are going to be so excited to change that hot mess to someone who actually has a routine, discipline, and motivation. I'm going to tell you how you get all of those things. Another thing to think about is you have to be okay with failing. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. Failure is why I'm a successful entrepreneur. Failure is why I'm successful with my health and fitness journey. If I hadn't failed, I wouldn't be here. But what sets me aside from everyone that quit is I never gave up. I accepted my failure. I accepted whatever I did to mess up. I accepted that I fell short on this week or that week, and I just kept going. And until you adopt that mindset, you will drown for 3 months. You will feel so defeated. And that's why I'm trying to do these podcasts, to let people know everything you're feeling is absolutely normal. There's no reason to be embarrassed about it. The reason I can speak about this, because this was me. I was a hot mess. Another analogy that I give is the flat tire analogy. You're driving down the road, you got kids in the car, whether they're yours or someone else's that you're watching. You get a flat tire, and you're not going to get a knife and go out and go, okay, kids, I flattened the other three, let's walk. No, you're going to figure it out. You're going to get on the phone, you're going to call AAA or Les Schwab or your husband or your wife or whoever, a friend, and you're going to fix the tire. That is Melfit in a nutshell. It's about fixing the tire and moving on. If you really want to feel like a failure, don't fix the tire and quit. And then you're going to be 5 years. 5 years is going to pass, pushing yourself further and further away from your goals. You have to just pick a date and start. Okay? So, on to change. Change is found in your daily routine. As stated before, do I think drinking water is going to improve your health? Yes. Do I think just switching up a breakfast to a Melfit green smoothie is going to change your health? Yes. Because with one healthy habit, others grow. It's kind of like seeds in a garden. It just kind of spreads like wildfire. So what I like to establish with people right off the get-go, because I hate to hear people say I don't have time. How about if you said, I'm not making it a priority? How does that sound? You're not making time. You have time. So what I think people really need to do is get really real with yourself. Let's peel the onion back and let's see what's in the core. So get a pencil and paper and write some notes down, unless you're perfect, which no one is. So the question is, where are you wasting time? Okay. Here are some typical areas and ways that people waste time. Number 1, sleeping. Number 2, watching TV. Number 3, cell phone, social media. Number 4, not getting right into each day and taking long extended coffee hours or more. Too much coffee time. Not putting systems in place to make days go better, not establishing boundaries, and not saying no enough. Feel free to steal these. We're going to go over these individually. These podcasts are intended to be 40 minutes to an hour so that you can take a walk and listen to this. Be inspired. Go for a run and listen to this. Walk on your treadmill or use your elliptical and listen to this. So we're going to address number 1, which is sleeping. Okay. So if you can get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, you're doing great. Anything less than that is not enough, in my opinion. Anything more than that is too much. People that say they need 9 or 10 hours, no, you don't. I mean, you just need to get your circadian rhythm of sleep figured out and get on a regular schedule. And as per stated in a previous podcast titled Everything We Should Know We Learned in the 3rd grade or 2nd grade, I can't remember what I said. It's back to the habits of routine. When you were a kid and you were younger, mom made you go to bed at 7:30 and get up at such and such time. Then you got a little bit older, you required less sleep. She made you go to bed at, 9:30 and get up. So why do we as adults steer away from that? Why do we think we're all grown up and we can just stay up till midnight and have to get up at 5:30? Like, why do we do that to ourselves? We need to stick with the habits that our parents taught us when we were kids. So I set my alarm. I don't get up with an alarm. My circadian rhythm is pretty much dialed in. And so I go to bed at 9:30, I get up at 5:30. That's 8 hours of sleep. It's pretty simple math, but a lot of people really struggle with this. Also, shut down the cell phones. Don't be on your cell phone before you go to bed. Reading is the best thing you could do before going to bed. It makes you tired. Turn off any lights, any distractions. If you can, just read with a lamp that's not super bright or a reading light. That's an easy fix, okay? So if you could figure that out, you can stop wasting time by sleeping too much. Okay. Number 2, watching TV. TV is a real treat. I did not watch TV for, 20 years. People used to have the Friends parties. I didn't even know what it was. Like, I've been grinding since I was 14. So I probably didn't really get into TV watching, into Netflix, until a couple years ago. And I had a lot of company at my house, and I was just kind of overly stimulated. I love people, but I know myself when I get overly stimulated. So I told my husband, I want to check out what this Netflix thing is, and people are, talking about all these series. So I said, don't let anybody in the house use the bathroom. Don't tell anybody I'm here. So I binge watched for the first time The Shooter, by Mark Wahlberg. There's a movie too, but oh my gosh, it was so gripping. And I was like, I just felt so naughty. Like, it's something I'd never done. Like, I don't feel very good about myself unless I'm being productive every hour of the day. And I know I need to allow myself guilty pleasures. So what I've done, I like to watch movies or a Netflix series here and there. What I do now is, when and only when I have finished all my priorities for the day, my workout, my food prep, my steps, anything I need to do for MelFit, then I'll allow X amount of time. Okay, you can watch, 1 or 2 episodes, or you can watch a movie. So for me, it's a nice treat. So if you find yourself watching too much TV, it's time to start limiting it and making it a treat. Maybe you only watch TV with the weather being nice. We don't watch any TV in the summer, like we're always outside. So maybe you just treat yourself on rainy days, or when the weather's bad, or just once a week. So number 3, everybody's guilty, cell phone, social media. That's another thing that you could set a timer on. If you love TikTok, if the TikToks make you laugh, they make me laugh, set a timer for 15 minutes. After that, you're done, because you could really let the day get away from you getting into those TikToks, okay? Number 4, not getting right into your day, taking too long of a coffee hour. I found myself doing that because I'd never had the luxury of drinking coffee in the morning. Although I owned a coffee shop, generally I had made hundreds of cups of coffee from 5:30 to 12:30, then on to work out, then on to one of my other businesses, clothing boutique or catering business. And a lot of times I would pick my coffee up on my way out the door and just dump it. Like, I basically took 2 sips of it. So I found myself, I love my coffee in the morning. It's such a treat for me, but sometimes I have to set a timer too. So another thing that I do, if you are listening to this or watching this and you do use social media for your business platform, what has really helped me enjoy my mornings, which I've never had the joy of doing till the last couple years with MelFit, I schedule my post the night before, and that has saved me so much time. Thank you, Bretta, if you're listening to this. She encouraged me to do that. And before, what my morning looked like is I would get up, I would have my coffee and my protein ball, and I would be making my social media post. Now I can just enjoy my coffee, enjoy my protein ball, the post is ready, and then I can go get into my workout. So again, I'll set a timer sometimes if I need to get going. Otherwise, I'll just sit for too long, okay? So number 5, not putting systems in place to make days go better. A perfect example of this for me is, I did this the other day because I always follow up with people on, and I when I find myself giving the same information over and over and over, that's when I need to put a system in place. So that has helped me so much. Rather than typing the 12 sentences to, over and over to 12 different people, I've typed it up, put it in a file, and then I just have that. So putting systems in place definitely does help. So number 6, not establishing boundaries. Not establishing boundaries is huge. First of all, I'm almost 48 years old, and I really value good people that respect me, love me, don't pick on me. And I am really, really trying to accept people where they're at, and as long as they don't pick on me for where I'm at. And I think that most people will tell you the older you get, your circle just gets a little bit smaller, because I think you change and what you're looking for in friends change. So I have boundaries as far as, you know, who I want to hang out with, when I want to hang out with, but I also need to allow myself to take some time during the week and go for a bike ride with a friend or meet a friend for coffee. And just so that doesn't turn into a 3-hour thing, how I could establish boundaries is, I'd love to meet you for coffee today, although I only have a half an hour. Would that be okay with you? And that way, if you can't let it turn into a big long thing, then it keeps you on track with getting your workout in, getting your steps in. So don't get anxiety when somebody asks you to do something. Establish a time boundary on it. I'll do that with my sales calls, where I'll say, I can call you from 1 to 1:15, so that the client knows ahead of time, I've got 15 minutes to give you as much information as I can. I hope that's enough time for you. If not, we may have to schedule another call, but I can't, stay on the phone with people for an hour. Otherwise, I'm not going to get the other stuff done for Melfit, my other obligations, checking in on my nutrition clients, or creating content. So it's okay to even have a party or a barbecue and put the time on there, 5 to 9 or 4 to 8. Like, it's totally fine to establish boundaries with opening up your home and your time. Number 7, not saying no enough. It's okay to say no, and you can actually be very polite about it. If you want to think about it, it's okay too. I feel like it's totally fine to say, you know what? Can you just give me a minute to think on that? I need to check my schedule, and I really do appreciate the invitation. Then you can decide if you want to say yes, you say yes. If you want to say no, you say politely, I really appreciate the invitation. At this time, I'm going to have to pass. And that's all you need to say. You don't have to make an excuse. Like everybody always says, I can't go because I have this. They don't need to know that. You can just simply say, I can't. Thank you for inviting me, but I'm going to have to decline the invitation. You don't have to tell them what you're doing. Like, everybody knows you're busy. Sometimes that hurts people's feelings even more. Oh, you picked so-and-so over me, or it's more important for you to do that than this. So I heard this one time about if you walk into a meeting and you're running late, which, you know what? Sometimes people are late. Rather than apologizing, my husband says Americans apologize way more than they need to. Instead of apologizing, what about just saying, instead of walking into the room all frantic saying I'm sorry, which makes you feel even worse about being late, which causes you to drop things and you drive crazy and you just start to sweat and you're nervous. Why not just say, first of all, look everybody in the eye. I just want to let everybody know in the room here know I want to thank you for waiting for me. What if you did that? Wouldn't that be crazy? And then they would be like, oh, okay, she's not apologizing, but she's thanking us for waiting. What a concept. So if you are taking part in this activity, again, where are you wasting time? Own it, okay? And then I am going to give you ideas also on everybody wonders, gosh, I'm already so busy. How could I possibly fit health and fitness into my life? Like, is that even possible? The one thing that you need to know about Melfit, if you're listening to this and you're not on Melfit, I take your frantic grocery store, Oh, the text at the end of the day to your family. What should we have for dinner? What do you guys want? Who's going to the store? I'm dead tired. Then you cook dinner, and then nobody wants to do the dishes. And I mean, and there's just no joy in it, you know. It takes the joy out of eating. It takes the joy out of food. So I'm taking, everybody's different. Some people go to the store once a week, once a month, twice a month, every day. It doesn't matter. The time is there. So I'm taking your average of 10 to 12 hours a week that you're spending cooking, or if you're not cooking, you're eating processed foods and you're not doing yourself any favors, and you're spending a ton of money, and you're causing yourself to probably later on in life have to take high blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication, possibly pushing yourself into type 2 diabetes, because with processed foods, everything has sugar and corn in it, and corn is just a horrible filler. So I'm taking your 10 to 12 hours a week down to 1.5 to 2.5, depending on how quickly you can cook. I mean, what does that mean to you? Time is your most valuable asset. So, and memories, my friend always says that. So, he said memories are your most valuable currency. I really like that quote. So, a lot of people can't wrap their mind around it. But when you start to look at the big picture, what does my life look like every day? I'm not cooking every day. I'm not cleaning up the dishes every day. I'm not going to the store. I'm going into the refrigerator, grabbing my prepped food, and it's on with other things that I want to accomplish. And that's why I continue to reach my goals and maintain my weight loss and improve. Today, my husband was working on our house. He comes in the door. I'm hungry. Well, I don't need to rush upstairs because I'm trying to get ready to come here and work with Josh. We're working on our summer survival series, MelFit Healthy Times magazine. I don't need to run upstairs and fix him lunch. If I would have had to do that today, I would have been late, I would have been grumpy, and all I need to say is there's like 3 different things to choose from in the fridge. Just heat it up. I'm not a huge fan of the microwave, but my husband either uses the microwave or the air fryer. He knows how to use both, and that's that. So I think that if people could actually look at the big picture, I talked to someone on the phone yesterday, and she said, yeah, my husband even said, hey babe, you need to keep the food prep going. Like, this has really changed our lives. So how do I even start? Plan. A goal without a plan is just a dream. Why do people hire health coaches? Because they don't know what they're doing. If you knew what you're doing, you'd be at your goal weight. When people call me and they say, I've tried keto, I've tried this, I've tried that, and I always say, and how's it working for you? Obviously it's not, otherwise you wouldn't be calling me. How about learning the right way and the only way, once and for all, to lose weight, lose body fat, improve your body composition, improve your overall health? How does that sound? Good? Listen up. So what you need to do is you need to figure out a plan. I've got beginner, intermediate, and advanced plans, okay? Then you pick a date. Then you get a journal, and we're back to the title, 1, 2, 3, This Is Me. This is how it all starts, okay? So how it starts is the alarm goes off in the morning, and rather than hit the snooze button 5 times, or you think you're clever because you put it across the room, or you think you're clever because you put it in the kitchen. And I have to tell you, not using an alarm and getting back to the circadian rhythm of a natural wake up, which is humanly possible, I can teach you how to do it, it's amazing. So when the alarm goes off, you just say to yourself, I start out with this. 1, 2, 3, this is the new me, okay? Shut the alarm off, and I'm doing good, right, Josh? 29 minutes. Shut the alarm off, and you get up. Begrudgingly, tired, feeling like crap, coming off processed foods, haven't worked out in 5 years. Okay, we get that. Get your journal out, get your booty downstairs, and also buy a day planner. You put everything that you need to do for your personal health and wellness and your work down to the minute. I'm up 6 to 6:30 coffee, 6:30 to 7 workout, 7 to 7:45 shower, 7:45 to 8 drive to work, 8 to whatever. So everything needs to be planned. Oh, and don't forget your breakfast. And okay, you're going to be gone for 6 hours. You're going to need, at Melfit, we eat 3 square meals, a snack, and a dessert every day, along with lots of water and some fun beverages. If you're going to be away at an office or an event, you need to pack enough food for those hours. Why people don't sleep well and why people don't lose weight is they're not eating regularly enough to regulate their blood sugar. It's when your blood sugar drops that you start to feel crappy and your energy goes. You need to put that fuel in the fire, keep it going all day long. Don't let the fire go out. Poor planning will put your fire out, okay? At first, with intermittent fasters or people that don't eat breakfast, it's really hard. But once they see the results, they are all in. So you write in your journal, oh my gosh, worst day ever. Feel like I have a hangover. I can't believe I got up right away. I can't believe I'm doing this. This is awful. Day 2, alarm goes off. 1, 2, 3, this is the new me. All right, I got up. I don't feel as bad as yesterday, but man, I don't know if I can do this. Day 3, and so forth, okay? Pretty soon a week goes by, the alarm goes off, you go downstairs, get your coffee, write in your journal, and you're like, 7 days in, and I'm doing this. I'm establishing a routine. I'm sticking to my day planner. I'm creating boundaries with people. I'm not wasting time. I'm starting to feel better. This is great. Then what I say to myself is pretty soon, once you feel like you've got it, then you just wake up and you're like, 1, 2, 3, this is me. This is who I've always wanted to be. I've always wanted to be that person that's actually has their lunch ready and their water bottle ready and knows when they're going to work out. And they are so convicted and passionate about where they want to go, and they want to get there, and they want to stay there because they've made it a lifestyle. They put on blinders. Oh, you want to try to pull me away? Oh, I'm sorry, Jane, neighbor that comes over uninvited. I'm sorry, Jane. I'm going to have to talk to you later. I'm going to do my workout. And would you mind texting me next time? This is actually my office. Those are boundaries, okay? Is that rude? No, this is your livelihood. So if you let Jane in and you're chomping at the bit, looking at your watch going, oh my gosh, is she ever going to leave? She wants to have a cup of coffee. It's okay. Jane, I would love to have a cup of coffee with you one morning, but I actually need to schedule it. I am very busy at work, very busy with family, kids, and, I am, trying to establish a healthy routine. So as long as we schedule it, I'll get you in, but I can't really allow any drop-ins. I know I allowed it before, but so you have to tell people what you're doing so that they know that they're not talking to the old Jane, they're talking to the new Jane. So 1, 2, 3, this is me. And it's stupid, but it works, okay? You just have to keep repeating that mantra, okay? So a couple more notes that I wrote down is, for instance, my Melfit 12-week boot camp. If you look at your journal and you adopt all of these habits, you look at your journal the first 4 weeks and you look at your journal the last 4 weeks, it's going to be totally different. You're not going to be writing all these negative thoughts, and you're not going to have all these doubts on your paper. You're going to be like, yeah, 1, 2, 3, this is me. Guess what, Coach Mel? I have a circadian rhythm of for my sleep now, and I don't even use an alarm. Like, I've never felt this good. I felt like I got hit by a truck every day and going through life on a wing and a prayer, and this is like fantastic. I used to make fun of people not like you. Now I am one of you. So the one thing I wrote down is, I always ask people, I say, if you don't enjoy the journey, you'll never get to the destination. If you're negative in the beginning and you say this is going to suck, it's going to suck. If you say this is awful, it's going to be awful. If you say you can't do that, you can't do this. So giving yourself positive affirmations, whether you've fully adopted them or not, is going to work. I can do hard things. I can do this. I am going to give this a shot. This is going to work. I am going to get to my goal. You'll have to use those in the beginning. At the end, you won't need those as much. So I always ask people, have you enjoyed the journey? Can you make this a lifestyle? Can you stick to a plan? If you made it to the 12 weeks, you can. And number one, are you proud of yourself? When people finish, I want to make a big deal about it. I want to help them celebrate and have a party. And a lot of people will share their images on social media. I want to scream that from the rooftop. I want them and everybody around them to realize that this person, she shopped for her food. She prepped her food. She got her steps in. She walked. She recorded her free day. Like, this is 12 weeks of somebody changing who they are 100%. Like, it's a big deal. I don't take it lightly. And I always find that people are excited about the future. There's no ceiling in Melfit. I feel like they're excited to continue. Well, if I did this, what else can I do? People always say, why 12 weeks on the Melfit 12-week boot camp? If you've been overweight or have had a lifetime of bad habits or 5 years of bad habits or 2 years of bad habits, it's going to take more than a 14-day fat loss diet to shift your mind into realizing this is a lifestyle, okay? That is why there's no ceiling on Melfit. That's why everybody's like, where do I go from here? Okay, so you go from there to the 6-week shred. You go from the 6-week shred to my maintenance plan. But it's the accountability and the expertise from a coach that's going to help you continue to grow. There are some people that can go it alone, but if people don't feel like they can go it alone, that's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do. Most importantly, when you're done, you feel like you've learned more. It's like the best 12-week college crash course on nutrition and fitness that you've ever learned. And when people get done, they'll tell you, wow, you undercharge and overdeliver. And I love hearing that. I love hearing that they found the value in spending the money on the plan and spending the money on the monthly app fee. It makes me feel really good that people got the value out of it. So when you're finished with a plan, you'll be a different person, a different weight. You'll have a better attitude. Your skin will look better. You'll have more confidence. Your sex life will be better. Your sleep will be better. Your energy will be better. Your strength will be better. And your digestion will be better. So back to the topic, the title, 1, 2, 3, this is the new me. And then eventually shortening it to 1, 2, 3, this is me. So if you're on a journey by yourself or with me, let me know when the 1, 2, 3, this is the new me, switches over to the 1, 2, 3, this is me. People always ask, well, where does motivation come? Like, how do you get motivated? Well, motivation comes from establishing a plan and accomplishing daily habits, and then things become routine. And I tell you what really helps, which I get, is results. Results really help. I mean, when you're losing 2 to 4 pounds a week, if you need to lose that, or if you're losing 3 or 4% body fat in 6 weeks, like, it's the fact that you're making progress that keeps you going. And what I see, because I help so many people who failed on other plans, what I see with other fad diets is they get the initial high that they want, that quick. Of course, anybody that creates a calorie deficit and cuts their carbs down to 5%, of course, even anybody that just cuts their calories down is going to lose weight. They're going to lose weight very quickly. But 2 things are going to happen. A, generally, they're not able to keep it off. You'll see somebody bragging about a 20-pound weight loss, but check on them in a year, check on them in over 20 years like me, and tell me if they've still maintained it, okay? That's the hard part. And B, the way that you lose the weight affects your appearance, okay? If you are reducing your calories, anything under 1,200 calories is starvation, and possibly maybe not exercising on one of your plans, but just a lot of people I've met over the years have said, I'm just going to focus on losing the weight first, and then I'm going to work out, which is the worst idea ever, because I have modifications on my MELFit 25 workouts. Even somebody from a seated position, even somebody in a wheelchair can do my workouts. The problem with that, and I can see somebody who has reduced their calories, starved themselves, let's just face it, gone low carb, super low fat. I can see them from a mile away because they look like they starve themselves. They look gaunt. They don't look muscular. If they're older, their skin will hang off of them, and they will look even worse. So to me, I think it's such a shame that people would go through that horrible experience. You know they're miserable, and just to get that quick satisfaction, just to possibly gain it back and aesthetically not look full. You know, their muscles aren't full and they're not toning up. So I feel like if you're going to spend the time on something, why not spend the time on something that's going to last forever? Quick fixes in any, whether it be fitness or beauty or whatever it is, the only way is the hard way. So eventually you just have to sit down, have a talk with yourself, look yourself in the mirror and say, self, it's time to roll our sleeves up. It's time to admit our excuses and our shortcomings and face the fact that although we've chased every fad diet, shiny object, liquid gold, taken shots, and I'm no better than you, I've done everything as well, it's time to actually figure this out once and for all. All right, you guys, we are about, how far are we in, Josh? Hour? Yeah. Hope you had a good walk. Hope you had a good time listening to the podcast. If you liked the show, definitely subscribe, like, and share the show. And we are wrapping up. We will see you guys or you'll be listening to me on the next MELFit podcast. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.